When an elephant dies, the others do not walk away. They stand over the body. They touch it with their trunks, gently, the way you'd touch the face of someone you loved and lost. They rock. They go silent. They stay for hours, sometimes days, circling back to the place long after the body is gone, standing where it fell, as if the ground itself still holds something they can feel. Scientists have watched mothers carry their dead calves for days, refusing to put them down, walking with the weight of a body that will never move again slung beneath them. Researchers in India found elephant calves that had been lowered into drainage ditches by the herd and deliberately covered with earth, buried. The adults stood over them and trumpeted for nearly an hour. They have been seen returning to the bones of their dead years later, not to any bones, to the bones of elephants they knew. Studies have shown they can tell the difference between elephant remains and the bones of other animals. They pick up the skulls. They run their trunks along the tusks. They stand in silence. And then they leave, and they come back, and they do it again season after season, like visiting a grave. No other land animal on Earth does this. Not like this. The elephant is one of the only creatures besides us that seems to understand what death is, and to carry it. You have heard that elephants never forget. You've heard it so many times it sounds like a bumper sticker. It is not. It is one of the truest things anyone has ever said about an animal. An elephant can remember the voice of a specific human it met decades ago. A matriarch can lead her family across hundreds of miles of dry land to a water source she visited once, 30 years before, because she remembers the way. Their brains contain structures scientists once believed only existed in humans and great apes, specialized neurons wired for empathy, for social awareness, for the kind of emotional processing that lets you hold a loss inside you and carry it forward through time. When researchers say an elephant never forgets, what they mean is that an elephant holds every bond, every face, every kindness, and every cruelty inside a mind large enough to carry it all. And it does, for a lifetime that can stretch past 70 years. They remember the ones who helped them, and they remember the ones who hurt them. Humans learned very early that the elephant was powerful. We learned it the way we learn most things, by trying to use it. In 218 BC, a Carthaginian general named Hannibal did something the Romans believed was impossible. He marched an army of 30,000 men, 15,000 horses, and 37 elephants across the Alps, a frozen mountain range that was supposed to be uncrossable, to attack Rome from behind. The elephants climbed through snow and ice, across paths barely wide enough for a man, for 16 days. The Romans had never seen anything like it. The sight of the elephants alone terrified soldiers who had fought every army in the known world. For centuries after, empires used elephants as living siege weapons, enormous, armored, shaking the ground as they charged into the front lines of battles they could not understand. We looked at the largest land animal on Earth and saw a tool, a battering ram made of muscle and bone. We strapped armor to its skin and marched it into wars that had nothing to do with it. And when it screamed in pain under the spears, we drove it forward anyway. But the wars were not the worst thing we did to the elephant. The worst thing was quieter, and it lasted centuries longer, and it is still happening now. Ivory, the white bone inside an elephant's face, its tusks, which it uses to dig for water, to strip bark, to defend its young, became the most coveted material in the human world. We carved it into piano keys and jewelry and religious statues and billiard balls. We turned a piece of a living animal's skull into a luxury, and then we killed the animal to take it. Not dozens, not hundreds, millions. At the beginning of the 19th century, as many as 26 million elephants walked the African continent. By the end of the 20th, fewer than 1 million remained. In a single decade, from 1979 to 1989, the African elephant population was cut nearly in half, from 1.3 million to 600,000. During the worst years of the slaughter, Roughly 75,000 elephants were killed every year, most of them illegally. One estimate puts the total number of elephants killed for ivory in the 20th century alone at more than 12 million. 12 million. For piano keys, for carvings, for trinkets that sat on shelves and gathered dust, while the species that grew them bled out across a continent. An international ban on ivory sales was passed in 1989, and for a while, it worked. The killing slowed. The prices fell. And then, in the years that followed, legal exceptions were carved into the ban. Demand surged again, this time driven largely by markets in East Asia. And the poaching roared back. In the second wave of the ivory crisis after 2008, more than 100,000 elephants were killed across Africa. 100,000 more for the same bone from the same face of the same animal that stands over its dead and remembers. Here is the thing that should sit in your chest. The elephant knows, not in a vague, instinctive way, in a specific, personal, lasting way. Elephants that have been through poaching attacks, that have watched their mothers or their matriarchs killed in front of them, carry that trauma. Researchers have documented lasting behavioral changes: heightened aggression, social withdrawal, disrupted bonding. In orphaned elephants that witnessed the killing of their families, they have nightmares. They flinch at sounds that resemble gunfire years after the event. They are, by every meaningful measure, traumatized. They remember what happened to them. They carry it. We are slaughtering an animal that knows it is being slaughtered. That remembers the ones it lost. That goes back to the place where its family died and touches the bones and stands in silence, the way you would stand at a headstone. And we are doing it so that someone, somewhere, can own a piece of white bone carved into the shape of something beautiful. The elephant does not need us. It has lived on this earth for millions of years, in one form or another. It shaped the landscapes it walked through, knocking down trees to create clearings, digging water holes that 100 other species used to survive. It is a keystone of its world. It holds its ecosystem together the way the wolf holds Yellowstone together, the way every animal in this series held something larger than itself in place. But it is also something more than that, something we almost never say about an animal. The elephant is a person, not a human person, but a person in the way that matters. A creature with memory, with grief, with bonds so deep that the loss of one member reshapes the entire family. A creature that buries its young and visits its dead and carries the weight of its own history inside a mind that never lets go. We have spent centuries taking from it its strength, its ivory, its freedom. And the elephant has spent centuries remembering every single thing we did. It remembers us. The question is whether we will remember what we owe it before there is nothing left to repay. If this story you loved, tell me in the comment which animal I should cover next, and subscribe, because every animal in this series carries a secret that most of us never learned. Some we loved, some we feared, some we used until there was nothing left, and some, like this one, remembered everything, including us. The next story is coming. Ring the bell and share the video someone you loved. Thank you, and have a nice day.